Hello, welcome to Powderpuff. This is the podcast for football, for the girlies, for just anybody who's new, and we're just going to hang out, we're going to talk football, we're going to introduce you to ourselves and chill and have a good time. I'm Sarah.
I'm Courtney.
We live in Nebraska and Omaha. We hit ourselves in the heads. We're a little bit of a mess. And then you can't see her, but down here, just in case she pops up, this is Ghost. She's our resident smelly dog. Okay, so there were a lot of games this weekend. It was the first game, the first weekend of NCAA and NFL. NCAA is on week 2. Some upsets in the NCAA that we'll talk to. I had the displeasure of being at one of the upsets, which was embarrassing to be associated with. But we kicked off NFL this week with the Chiefs-Ravens. So not like a Super Bowl rematch, but a divisional rematch. Because last year, before the Super Bowl, the Chiefs played the Ravens to see who was going to go to the Super Bowl and represent the AFC. Obviously, the Chiefs won, and then they went and won the Super Bowl, and it was glorious. And if you can't tell, we're Chiefs fans. Oh well. There was a lot. Did you watch the Chiefs game?
I did.
Okay. There's a lot of new stuff going on in the NFL this year. So the 3 new penalties, not even penalties, the 3 new rules that I think of are you can't do a hip drop tackle, which we won't even talk about this week because I didn't even see any hip drop tackle penalties this week, so I don't even want to talk about it. And then there's a new kickoff situation where so you can always you kick the ball off and then everyone just runs for the end zone. You can't do that anymore. Did you catch that, or did you know about that?
I didn't, no.
Yeah. You have to wait for the you have to wait for one of 2 things. Either the ball drops in the end zone and nobody really moves anyway because it's a touchback, or the receiver for the non-kicking team catches the ball and then everyone can run. And it's it's weird. I don't like it. On New Heights, the Kelseys were well, Jason retired, but Travis was I don't mind it. It's kind of fun. We're still doing our thing. It's whatever. And then the other thing that was from the jump, it took less than 2 minutes for the Ravens to get called on it, was the illegal formation. New penalty. Illegal formation's always been a thing, but they changed it this year so they can't the offensive line can't kind of line up in a V. It's got to be a straight barrier, which Dayton was explaining the issues to me. I think it makes the quarterback more susceptible to injury and a couple of the tackles more susceptible to injury. But I couldn't tell you the specifics at this point in time because I don't remember because I didn't write it down. But I think they got called on it 4 times. I wrote in my notes so many, 4 times at least in the first half. It was crazy. Yeah, 3 penalties on the Ravens in the first 3 minutes for illegal formation. In the first 3 minutes of the game, it was nuts, and they were pissed about it at the end.
Goodness.
Yeah, no, they were the refs better bring the same energy the whole entire year. And I was I agree though, totally, because
the refs calling the game. I feel that's just an extra rule for the refs to call the game.
I mean, until they blow it, because I don't even know. It was the second or third quarter, and they blatant late hit on Patrick Mahomes. He was already 2 steps out of bounds carrying the ball, and a Ravens player just
I did see that.
Slammed
Yeah,
into him, and we're all just where is the late hit penalty? What is going on? But I definitely don't want to be having people out there the Chiefs are only winning and doing their thing because the refs are calling the games and they're paying off the refs.
They say that about a lot of games.
They do, yeah.
And adding more rules that they're going to keep saying it.
Right, and it's an adjustment
yeah.
for everybody. I've never played football. I don't know how hard it is to line up correctly, but I imagine if you're 30 years old and you've been doing the same stuff for the past 23 years or whatever, it's going to be hard to adjust in one off season. But you're also a professional, so get it together.
Right.
A little bit. Okay, so Ravens also acquired Derrick Henry in the offseason, which I was not happy about. Because, Derrick Henry is, what Isaiah Pacheco is to the Chiefs, and he came from the Titans. And he's, massive. He's an absolute unit. But he didn't, do anything crazy. He, did his job, did good. But, obviously the big stuff from the game was the very last 3 seconds when we're up, and if they get a touchdown and get a 2-point conversion, they're winning. And they threw it in. It's the last play of the game. Half the country's like, you got a touchdown, and I'm sitting there like, this is nuts. This cannot be happening. We cannot go out like this 2 years in a row because we lost the season opener to the Lions last year, which ended up being fine because the Lions.
And the year before that?
Who did we play the year before that?
The Bills. We were there.
Not the season opener though, were we?
I thought it was.
I don't know. Just kidding. I thought it was mid-October. It was October 13th. So we would have been 4 weeks in.
Okay, my bad.
But we did lose that game. That's true. I knew we were going to lose that game though, because Josh Allen was on here.
It was coming off of the AFC Championship, just like the Ravens game was.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. But he steps a toe out of line. I don't even remember who the receiver was, but he stepped a toe out of bounds, and so it negated the entire pass. And so we won, but it's I can't imagine being him and going home and be literally 3 centimeters, and we could have at least gone into overtime.
A half of a toe.
I was happy, obviously, but it was too close for comfort. But that was the Chiefs game. That was literally the only game I watched all weekend. Did you watch any other ones?
I did not.
Yeah,
I was busy.
I was busy too.
I was following it on my fantasy, and that was it. And the updates.
Yeah, I'm not even doing fantasy this year. I'm so mad about it.
I'm only doing a free one through my work.
Fair. That's fair, though. I asked the old group, because I asked you first if you wanted to do it, and you're like, I don't have time. And I'm like, that's fine. I asked everybody else from our group last year, and the only ones who said yes were Sky and Noah. And wow. I was looking at Dayton, I was like, you don't want to do one with even just the 4 of us? And he's like, well, we're all poor this year, so we're not going to be competing for money, so there's no point. And I was like, I could hit you with a hammer right now. It brings joy and anger, but
My office had 11 people. You need even amount of people, so they convinced me. And I'm like, well, I'll do this, but I'm not doing it for money.
Yeah, absolutely
because
not.
I'll probably forget some weeks.
You do not have a history of that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know.
I don't even think you came in last, though. Did you?
No.
Yeah, and you, stopped playing after week 3. And you somehow... There was someone in the group that was worse than that.
And everybody else played. I know for a fact everybody else played.
Yeah. I have horrible memories of mistakes I made in fantasy last year that'll haunt me forever. But I thought... So I caught some of the Bears game because while I was driving home, everyone was passed out asleep, and I was like, I need to stay awake. I'm driving, Dayton drove us from South Bend to Chicago, and then I drove us from Chicago to Nebraska.
Wow.
It was a long day. It was such a long drive. So I turned on the Bears game because it was the only one, in market or, in the geography of the area. In the second quarter, I want to say, they got 7 points, which, you see that, and you're like, yeah, 7 points. That's a touchdown and a field goal. They didn't even get a touchdown and a field goal. They did a 3-point kick, and then they got 2 safeties.
Wow. Which
is ridiculous. I think if you see once, and for people who don't know what a safety is, it's when your quarterback, you're on offense, say it's the Chiefs-Ravens, and Patrick Mahomes is in the end zone that belongs to the Chiefs, so not the one they want to score in, and he gets tackled with the ball in his hand, and so the other team gets 2 points. That happened twice in 1 quarter. If it happens once in a game, you're like, wow, there was a safety today. And the Bears got 2 in 1 quarter, which is nuts. Yeah. So that one, that's just your little educational thing.
I think our defense had 2 touchdowns.
Theirs did or ours did?
Theirs.
No. Theirs did?
Yes.
All right.
Jonathan Owens was one of them.
Jonathan Owens is on the offense. No, he's on the defense. You're right. Oh my gosh. Yes. I forgot that Jonathan Owens moved down the road to Chicago.
3 plays of certain plays, but I didn't watch the full game.
Oh, no, because I remember that because, Simone Biles, said something about it. She's like, I thought I was going to have a heart attack when I saw it. No, I saw that touchdown. One of them, at least. Yeah. What's next? I think... Let's see here. Oh, yes, let's get into a little, our favorites. So who's your favorite Chiefs player?
This year?
Overall in general. I don't know. All right.
First, I just... Sure.
I guess I'll have to do that.
My favorite player, you know it. It's hard for me to pick favorites. But I really like Xavier Worthy.
Yes.
He's going to be great this year. He's really fast.
Oh my, he's the
so
fastest
speedy.
person in the NFL.
Broke the combine record.
Yeah, like, I think I wrote in my notes when he got his first touchdown, I was like, Tyreek who? Like, oh my gosh, he's so fast. So I'm excited we picked him up.
So my fantasy, I have him on my team.
Oof.
And my little fantasy predictor thing told me that another player, I can't remember who, was going to get more points than him. So I benched him this week.
No!
So I'm never trusting this app again.
You can't. You just can't.
I was like, I didn't even have any words.
Yeah.
I was so upset.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think he ended up having like 20.8 points or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Because I know, last year on Thursday Night Football, I don't know who the Texans were playing, but I had Tank Dell on my team. And I'd had him in the whole season, and he'd just been putting up average points. And somebody else was projected to get more points than him, so I benched him. Tank Dell scored 56 points that night.
56?
Oh my god. I was at church band practice, and we went out to get drinks afterwards, and I looked down at my phone, and I was like, I'm going home. And I screamed all the way home. I was so mad, because I think I was playing Quentin that week. I was like, I could have beat him so badly. I could have embarrassed this man and his whole family, and I just didn't.
Yeah, it's the last time I'll trust the app.
Yeah, you
and
just
their little notifications.
Yeah, screw them, honestly. Yeah. Not here for
And
it.
Harrison.
Listen. You are never gonna catch me not loving Harrison Butker. I don't care what he says. I don't care if he thinks a woman's place is the kitchen. That doesn't have anything to do with his ability to kick a football. And the game that we were at, because we went to the Bengals-Chiefs game on New Year's Eve this past year, I think we scored one touchdown. But we won that game because of him. He alone scored 19 points that whole game. And I think the final score was 26-21 or something like that. You're never going to catch me hating on the man who wins us games. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Whatever.
He can kick a football.
Yes. Forever and always, as long as he's on that roster, Harrison Butker will be my favorite Chief.
Yeah.
I think this year, though, Xavier Worthy, there's a Notre Dame player named Xavier Watts, and they play the exact same position, and I'm just, in my brain, having to separate them all the time. No, Xavier Worthy is crazy. And did you hear? Because he was our first-round draft pick, which we shouldn't have had, because we were number 1 last year, so we shouldn't have a first-round draft pick. Did you hear, the backstory on that?
I didn't.
Okay, so we traded we traded somebody or something to the Bills for their first-round draft pick. And so everyone's like, how did the Chiefs get this guy? Because this is the fastest man in the NFL. He's got such a good record. What are we doing? How did we allow this to happen? And it's because of the Bills. The last time the Bills did this exact same thing, traded us a person or something else for a first-round draft pick, you know who we picked up?
Who?
Mahomes.
Wow.
If I was a Bills fan, I don't even know. I would be so mad. So,
back to back.
Yeah, that's how in my mind, that's how you know Worthy's going to be amazing, is because the Bills, we got him off of the same Bills mistake as last time. So, I'm excited to see what he does this whole season. I think he could be really good. It's like having Tyreek back, honestly, but hopefully less drama. And then also, Rashee Rice, right? He had all that crazy stuff in the off season with getting into the drag race and causing an accident and injuring people. And he's not he played in the game. He's not on suspension or anything. And his trial is set for earliest December, latest March. So he could play the entire season and postseason. And there's it's the commissioner's something. But it's basically you could put on commissioner's suspension or something like that, and you can't play, but you get paid still, or you get part of your pay. And they were talking about it before the Chiefs game, and they said that the main reason he didn't get put on suspension is because it's a low court systems type thing, but it's also doesn't have anything to do with domestic violence, and that's the reason that you get put on that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, he's like, no, I was just drag racing and hurt a couple people. Not, like, just, but, you know.
Right.
But, yeah. So, that was an interesting little tidbit, though, I learned last week, too. Because I wasn't even sure he was going to be able to play. But he's good. And we released Kadarius Toney, which was the best. And Juwan Taylor's next. I'm sick of that man. I am so the most penalized person in the entire league, and he gets 2 false starts his first game of his second season. Like, why aren't we benching him? Like, he needs to go down to the practice squad. He makes me so. Ugh.
Offsides is so uncalled for.
It's ridiculous.
At your grown age.
Honestly, like, you should know how to move and when to move. Like, nobody else is having this issue. Like, what's going on with you? Are you okay? Like, I also wanted to get your input on Super Bowl contenders after week 1. Who are you, even though neither of us really watched any of the games, but, like, based on what we know, who do you think?
I don't know. I would really like to see the Lions beat the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lions go.
Yep, I am 100% with you.
And then the Chiefs.
Obviously.
But if the Chiefs, no, I had to pick somebody other than the Chiefs.
Right, like, who in the AFC would I even want? The Bills, maybe? Like, I do like the Bills enough.
I think the Bears' defense is really good this year.
I think they're NFC.
Oh.
They're in the same conference as the Packers and the Lions, right?
My bad.
Okay. Like, I couldn't even list all the AFC teams off the top of my head. I just know the AFC West is Chargers.
I have my list, and I didn't separate it from AFC and NFC, so it's going off my list.
Okay. Because I know, like, in our conference, we've got Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders, and Broncos. And the only contenders that could really give us a run for our money this year, tragically, are the Raiders. But, like, I don't have high hopes about that. I don't know. I would love to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. So much.
I would like to see the Dolphins in the Super Bowl. I like Mike McDaniel.
I love Mike McDaniel.
I think Tyreek, Mike, Tua,
Puka Nacua.
They could really get it done.
I think so.
If they've been practicing in the cold, because they are not.
Right, because I feel like that's really the biggest reason they lost that
definitely.
playoff game to the Chiefs last year. Like, you're from Miami and you're playing in 6 below, like, weather. Like, you physically are not going to be able to win this game because your body is not acclimated to this at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when my friend Sienna got married, her dad's side of the family is from Samoa, and one of her bridesmaids, Gabby, like, lives in Samoa still, like, and she came to be a bridesmaid, and Sienna's wedding was, like, December 12th or something like that, so it's cold out, we're all in spaghetti strap dresses, and we're taking pictures outside for, like, an hour, and, like, we're cold. Us Nebraskans are cold. Gabby's body, by the time we got to the car, was literally swollen because of the cold, because her body just, like, wasn't acclimated to it. And I feel like that was, I mean, they didn't have a choice where they were going to play, and they didn't have a choice about the weather, but that was dirty. Like,
it really was. I don't know, but I would hate to go to Miami and play in that heat.
Oh, yeah, beginning of the season especially, like, that would be horrendous. Like, they really, because they don't have an indoor stadium, do they?
No.
I didn't think so.
And don't they have the stadium designed where the Miami sideline is in the shade, but the...
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's always in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the opposing team is always in the sun.
Yeah, which is honestly a genius design plan.
No,
like, it's so
horrible.
petty. It's petty, but it's, like, smart. It gives you an extra home team advantage, because everybody's got their little home team advantage.
Right.
Like, KC's is the noise, because it's the loudest stadium in the world. And, like, the Broncos have the altitude advantage. You've got guys huffing oxygen masks on the sidelines, like, trying their best not to pass out. Like,
climate.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff gets to me. But I agree with you. I would love to see the Lions in the Super Bowl. Like, I love the Lions.
I think they can get it done.
I think so too.
I really do.
And you know me, I love Sam Laporta. Like, just because I worked with his cousin at Beacon, like, I love Sam Laporta so much. But my dilemma, and I'm gonna toggle this before it knocks out again. Hi, Ghost. My dilemma would be if it's Chiefs-Lions, because I want to see the Lions win so bad, because they just, like, Like, I know what it's like to go through a drought. Like, I'm a Chiefs fan and a Cubs fan. Like, like, we're talking extreme droughts. But no team has ever won 3 back-to-back Super Bowls. Ever. Like, technically, the Packers did it in the 50s, but that was before the Super Bowl was a thing.
Right.
That was just, like, the NFL championship game. But, like, we would be the first ever, and I would lose it, and I would not be able to go over to Dayton's parents' house because... because Jared, his stepdad, is a big 49ers fan. So when the Chiefs and the 49ers played this year, I was watching, like, after I left your house after the half, I went over there and caught the end of this halftime show and then watched the rest of the game. And I'm sitting there, and Dayton's brother Dylan, his girlfriend Megan, is also a Chiefs fan. And so when the Chiefs won, Megan's like, yeah! And I'm, like, sitting there, I'm like... Keep it together. Don't be disrespectful. Jared is livid right now. And after like 10 minutes, he came and gave me a hug and said, congratulations. But I was like, if we go over there and it's another three-peat, especially, like, even if they're playing the Niners, like, I'm going to have to excuse myself and go outside if they win so I can scream. Like,
Three-peat.
Oh, that would be amazing. What a time to be a Chiefs fan, honestly. Ugh, so exciting. I just love it. I think up next I was going to talk about South Bend. Is that what's next? Dead air.
No, you're good. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Oh,
Well,
yes.
yeah.
Shador, we just did it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, Shador Sanders. Okay. So, obviously, I was dealing with other things while the Nebraska game was going on. So I didn't get to watch, but, like, I know that Nebraska won. Nebraska beat Colorado, biggest rivalry game for Nebraska, which is perfect and beautiful and amazing. I'm so happy. But then I saw afterwards, so Shador Sanders was getting a little bit of heat because he was like, well, Dylan Raiola didn't get sacked once, and I got sacked 6 times. So I have beef right now with my offensive line because his offensive line did their job, and my offensive line just, like, stayed in the parking lot today. Like, they weren't there. And people are kind of, like, saying he's being arrogant and whatever, but I kind of agree with him.
I wouldn't want to be sacked 6 times.
Right. Like
I really wouldn't.
Right. You can only scramble so much.
Right. It gets
like,
exhausting, I'm sure.
Yeah. And you've got all the padding on, and you're in a hostile environment, and it's a night game, and, like, you're trying to do your best, but, like, I kind of, as much as I want to, like, I agree with him. Like, his offensive line did not do their jobs, and I would be livid with them if they were just, like, giving up sacks. That's more than 1 per quarter, which is unacceptable, especially in your biggest rivalry game. Well, I don't know if it's Colorado's biggest rivalry game.
Theirs might be Colorado State.
That's what I'm thinking.
But Nebraska and Colorado is a huge rivalry.
Like, the most hostile ever. Like, I heard that when Nebraska fans go to Colorado for the game, like, they get their tires slashed. Mm-hmm. Like, you have to not have any sort of Nebraska identification on you because you won't be okay.
Now they're not scheduled to play each other for years. Like,
really?
There's nowhere on the schedule. Yeah. So that was, like, the last of this. It was 78 times, I think, they played, and that was the 50th time that Nebraska has won.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also had the 90s, and the 90s was lit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember much of it.
But I think they said maybe after 2035 they might get back on the schedule in regular season. But for now, the Colorado-Nebraska thing
we're just done?
We're done.
Okay, interesting. I'll be interested to see. And then the other part of that game was, so Dylan Raiola, everybody's calling him, like, Patrick's little cousin or, like, baby Patrick. And on part of my take, Big Cat was talking about how, like, Dylan Raiola has taken it too far because he had the exact same, like, warm-up sequence where he, like, runs and does the high jump with tucking his knees and then, like, just lets go and then turns around and runs away. And that's what Patrick does every time. Mm-hmm. I wanted to get your take on that. Like, what do you think about his emulation of Patrick?
I feel like everybody has an idol.
Mm-hmm.
And they train together, right?
I don't know if they train together, but they train...
In off-season.
Okay, yes, they did train together, and they also will train in Texas facilities.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Dylan's been training with him this whole time, obviously. I don't think that's the case. But everybody has their idols, and everybody watches their favorite players up and coming. Isn't it a compliment to Patrick Mahomes?
Right, what is the saying? Like, imitation is the highest form of flattery? Yeah. Like, I don't think Patrick Mahomes has an issue with it. I think he really likes Dylan. And, like, I was also thinking, so when I was getting my bachelor's degree, it was in writing. And they were always telling us, like, you've got to read as much as possible, like, the people you really like. And then when you write, you just start off by emulating their writing styles, and then eventually you'll come into your own. But, like, you find what you like, you copy it in your own voice, and then you find yourself through that. I'm like, I feel like that's pretty transcribable to what he's doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's going to find his own little thing at some point. You know?
Yeah, right.
Like,
he's just a freshman right now.
Right. But that's his idol.
Yeah, 100%.
He grew up watching him. Like, he's a freshman in college. He's still growing up.
And Patrick is in his 8th year in the NFL. Right. So, like, he's had, what would that even be? Like, 10 years old that Dylan was when Patrick got drafted? Like, yeah, I don't think it's creepy. I think people have an issue with it. But I'm like, I don't know. Let the boys play football. Who cares? Like,
it's doing something right.
Yeah, obviously it's working for him.
Right.
So
it's working for the complaining.
Like, I'm just excited to see, too. Just, like, when's the last time we had, like, a really, really good quarterback? Amir Abdullah?
I don't think he was a quarterback. Was he?
I think so. Fear Amir. Because Amir played with,
I'm horrible.
Jordan Westerkamp. And there was, like, the Westercatch. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They were playing Northwestern.
I remember that because Lisa used to talk about it.
Okay. Of course she did. Of course she did. But, like, I can't even think. Like, that was the last time. I was in college. I was, like, a freshman in college the last time we had a team that people were talking about. Because I think that was around the time that Sue was in there. Maybe a little bit after.
That was my time. That was before my time.
Sue was before your time?
Not before, but, like, he's older than me.
Yeah, I believe that.
I'm much older than you. If you were a freshman in college.
Yeah. I was 2014, fall of 2014 was when I was in college, a freshman.
Yeah, this would have been like
Sue was
2008, 2009.
Okay, so I was in middle school. Okay. Mm-hmm. And then Sue went to the Lions and started stepping on ankles and being a menace to society. What an idiot for doing that, honestly. God. But yeah, that's your little Huskers thing, and then. So this weekend, I went to South Bend. I'm only going to talk about a little bit of what happened.
Oh my goodness.
But, so, Notre Dame was playing Northern Illinois University. Like, shouldn't be an issue. It was an issue. We lost by, like, 2 points. We left at the half. Like, right after the half was over. Like, first of all, we got there. We left at midnight on Friday. And we only stopped for gas. And then we stopped at like 4 a.m. because Dayton got really tired, so I took over driving. And then we didn't stop again until we pulled into our tailgate parking spot. Like, we were running on fumes. We're like grabbing our bags and walking a mile to the bookstore and changing in the bookstore bathroom. Like,
oh my goodness.
We were messy. But like the tailgate was so fun. And the campus is the most beautiful campus I've ever seen in my entire life.
Was it your first time there?
First time there for me, yeah. It's Dayton's, like, 70th time there, because he went to every home game last year. But, like, we walked around. I can't imagine how gorgeous it is in the fall. It's so old. There's so much history. We went to the grotto and, like, lit a candle and, like, said a prayer. It was gorgeous. Beautiful. I had the most amazing cheeseburger of my whole life, but also... I was already a little bit tipsy, because I had 3 Irish car bombs by 11 a.m. And then I had to stop because I was going to throw up. But I'll tell you what, that cheeseburger...
Very Irish of you.
It, literally, like, that was Dayton's thing. He's like, we're going to take Irish car bombs. I'm like, first of all, that's disgusting. Second of all, give me one.
Give me 3.
Right. Oh, it was so gross. But the cheeseburger hit so hard. And Dayton's like, well, I have... like pinwheels and artisanal cheeses. And I'm like, I don't care. We're spending $10 on a double cheeseburger and we're supporting like the fencing club or something. Like, I'm eating. But then we got to the game and Dayton and Jackson got up and we didn't see them again until the half. They were just walking the whole stadium. Me and Riley were hanging out, doing our thing. talking most of the time. Like, I barely even saw the game when I was there because, like, we were both drunk, so we were just talking. Right. But every time I looked up, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And then Dayton and Jackson came back. We sat through, like, a little bit of halftime, and then Dayton was like, I want to go get pizza. Are you guys ready to go? And I was like, yeah, this game sucks. Like, let's go. So we went and got pizza, and they lost the game. And whoever bet on NIU to win must have made so much money.
Sure.
Because the odds were crazy.
I heard Notre Dame paid them to play there. Paid them to lose.
Oh my god.
I don't know if that's true, but I saw it.
I mean, I saw it on the internet.
On the internet.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, hi, Ghost. Hello. This is Ghost. She's wearing a diaper because she's in heat. For anyone who was wondering what was going on with this dog. Yeah, she's very lovey-dovey. She's very, like, clingy right now. And she also was not happy. I left her with my grandparents while we were gone over the weekend, and she was just sad the whole time.
Oh, she missed you.
Yeah, she has not left my side since we came back, so, which is nice for me, but also I'm not taking you anywhere right now because I got things I'm doing. But yeah, so that was my weekend in South Bend. It was short, but also the longest weekend of my life, and now I've been gone 2 weekends in a row, so I'm 2 weekends behind on laundry, and the house is a disaster, and there's no food.
Are you gonna head to Notre Dame again anytime soon?
Not this season. Dayton's going back for the Louisville game at the end of the month, and then he's going back for another game, either the end of, I think it's the last weekend of October, if he's supposed to go, because that's when I'm running the half marathon, and I was disappointed that he wasn't going to be here, but also they already have tickets, so who cares? Like, it's fine.
You have fans.
I do have fans. I'm sure I'll see the girls there if you guys have time. Oh yes. Okay, this is where I'm going to take this. Okay. I figured we could close out today with just like a little game to get our opinions off the rip, get to know us a little bit better. Because I don't even know what we're at for time. Ooh, my goal was 30 minutes. We're at 32.
Oh, wonderful.
Killing it. We will have to edit out like 2 minutes because I was just putzing around. Okay. We're going to start off with this. Your 3 favorite NFL teams.
This is so complicated. Seattle Seahawks, Kansas City Chiefs, and the Miami Dolphins.
Okay.
All the way down.
Okay. Why the Seahawks?
Josh Brown kicked for Nebraska.
Okay,
and he was a good family friend of ours when he played at Nebraska.
Yeah.
Of like my parents and he got drafted there, and I was young, and I was like, oh, I love the Seahawks. And I did for multiple years, so I just have stuck with it.
That's fair. Obviously mine's the Chiefs. Like, number 1 is the Chiefs. Number 2 is the Lions. Yes. Like, I just can't not love them. Number 3 is the Packers. Because I just like the Packers. Dayton's a Packers fan. So, like, I've never had anything that I don't like about the Packers. If I had to, like, usher in a 4th, Chiefs fans will say I'm not a real Chiefs fan for this. I would say the Bills.
I can see that.
Like, I have so much respect for Josh Allen. I love him. Like, yeah. I think he throws up before every game, like, period. Like,
Dylan's not doing that, I don't think.
No, I don't think so either. But, like, I have respect for the Bills, but I want to beat them every time we play them. 3 least favorite teams in the NFL.
Oh, 3 least favorite. Vikings.
Ooh.
Packers.
Okay.
Raiders.
Obviously.
Dallas Cowboys. I could keep going there.
Yeah, Dallas Cowboys. I mean, did you watch the cheerleader documentary? The Cowboys cheerleaders? It's so good.
Really?
Like, I binge watched it in like a day. It was amazing. So, that's the only thing that gives the Cowboys points for me. Because who cares about Dak Prescott? Like,
why do they pay him so much?
Honestly, he's the highest paid player in the NFL now. For what? Like, why is he taking all that money, too? Like, Patrick doesn't take that money because he wants other people to be, like, drafted onto his team and get good money and stay there. So, like, he's thinking long game. I'm gonna let her out. She's being annoying. Okay. Go tell somebody to let you out, please.
She's licking toes.
She's a freak. Okay. I have my least three favorite. Obviously, number one least favorite is the Raiders.
Yeah.
Like, that one,
Absolutely.
the only person on that team that I can't help but respect is Max Crosby. Like, he terrifies me, and he's got a crazy backstory, and he's one of the best. Like, he's so good, and I'm scared to play the Raiders just because of Max Crosby. After that, I had it before. My second least favorite team. Let's see here. I do hate the Tennessee Titans.
Really?
I am the only person I know who hates them. And I think it's just because, 4 or 5 years ago, we were playing the Titans one game, and they were just crushing us for no reason, and it was postseason. We came back and won, but forever after that, I was like, I hate these guys, and I don't care who knows it.
I stuck to it.
Yeah, I'm sticking to my guns on that one. Oh gosh, now I'm blanking on the third team who I also hate and just can't think of right now. Let me go through the list of everything that's popping in. I don't hate the Texans, I don't hate the Cowboys, I don't hate the Dolphins. It's not the Bills, the Broncos, the Chargers, or the Packers. I like the Vikings. I don't have a problem with the Giants or the Jets because they both suck. I don't have a problem with the Patriots. I don't have a problem with the Commanders, or the Bucks, or the Seahawks, or the Rams. I don't even know who I was thinking of.
The Raiders.
Maybe I just hate the Raiders so much I was counting them as two teams. Because the only person I know who doesn't hate the Raiders is Gavin. And he's a Raiders fan, so he's a freak. But sorry, Gavin, I would still like to borrow that ring light that you offered me a month ago. Okay. Got a little this or that.
Okay.
When you're watching the game, sports bar or watching at home?
That one.
I think it's tough. It depends on the mood.
It depends who's at the bar.
That's true. Well, before we had game streaming, especially when Dayton was going, this was back when we lived in the apartment, and he lived in the house right down the street. Dayton would go out of town, and I would drive down to DJ's in Exarban and just sit at the bar by myself and watch the games. That was fine, but I only did it because I couldn't watch at home. But now I feel like I'd rather watch at home. Stay in my sweatpants, eat my own snacks.
Definitely.
Take notes. But I do every once in a while, if it's a big game, maybe go to the bar just for the atmosphere.
Definitely.
Yeah. At the game, tailgate or game time?
Oh, game time.
I would agree.
Game time.
Yeah.
Tailgating's fun, but game time.
Yeah.
I love to just zone into the game. Tune in. Tune all the way in.
Yes. 100%. I would say the only time I've ever enjoyed the tailgate more than the actual game was this weekend. The tailgate was incredible. But, even when we go to Kansas City games, we don't even really tailgate. We show up, we hang out for a few minutes, and then we head into the game, and it's just so hype. The atmosphere is so good. Oh, I love it, especially Chiefs games.
It's really, I feel easy to get in and out of there, too, without having to tailgate, if that makes sense. I think about going to Lincoln. You tailgate before you walk into the stadium.
Yeah.
And you can do that in Kansas City, but it's just set up differently.
Right. But there's more space, I feel like. And there's not tents that you have to, maneuver
exactly.
around.
Yeah.
People, there's grassy areas on the side that people kind of, set up their tents and their cornhole in and, do their stuff there. But, yeah, it takes forever to get out of there after the game.
Yeah.
But it's not obnoxious like it is in other, especially college. I feel like college is huge on tailgating. So.
I think so, too. I think college is way bigger with tailgating than NFL.
Yeah. Probably for good reason. I don't know. Who goes to an NFL game for the tailgate?
Because college students, they have more energy.
100%. I want to get there. I want to watch them win. I want to go home and I want to go to bed.
Don't forget my hot chocolate.
Yes.
A shot of whiskey.
That hot chocolate was so good, but it was also $18. I went into debt for that hot chocolate. I'd do it again.
Every single time.
It was so good.
Every single time.
Oh, God. Okay. Non-football one. Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Obviously.
It's not even.
Yeah, no.
Dogs.
My mom has 2 dogs and 2 cats. And we didn't have cats growing up because my dad was allergic, to the point where his eyes would swell shut. Mm-hmm. But now, she's at her own house and she has cats. And my sister, like, when we got home from Des Moines a couple weeks ago, I went inside, and my sister, like, they got a new cat, and my sister just brings out this cat, and she's like, this is Asher, here's this cat. And I'm like, hi, cat. Like, ugh. Like, I'm sure you're really nice, and I guess you're kind of, like, pretty cute, but, like, get away from me.
Yeah,
like, I'm sorry. Ugh. Yeah, I don't do cats. Sorry to all the cat people. Chiefs offense or Chiefs defense?
Offense. Yeah, offense.
I feel like...
Special teams.
Right, I was gonna say, I forgot special teams, and special teams way up there.
Special teams.
I think the offense stresses me out more. But, like, I love Trent McDuffie and Chris Jones and freaking Justin Reed and Drew Tranquil. I love all of those guys. And they, like, I was devastated when I found out that we traded L'Jarius Sneed to the Titans, no less. Like, so upset. But, like, I do love watching, like, Xavier Worthy and Patrick Mahomes, like, do their thing. And Isaiah Pacheco, I love a good angry, stompy run. Like, but I love our defense so much. Like,
you just love the whole team.
I do. I just can't be caged into one category. Winter game or fall game?
Winter.
As crazy as it sounds,
Winter game.
winter, yeah.
Definitely.
Because, like, we've been to, like, using our, like, experience, because we've been to a fall game, and we've been to a winter game. And, like, fall games are fun, but you get to a winter game, and it's, like, the end of the season, you are dialed. It's serious.
Yes.
Like, and the game we were at was the Swag Surfers game?
Yes.
And that was the game where it was all born, and, like, it was it was New Year's Eve. It's the last game of we clinched the playoffs that game. It's just so much more exciting. Because, like, the fall game, like, yeah, we saw the Bills, we lost to the Bills, sucks, but not a big deal.
State still came back and won.
Right.
The Super Bowl.
Also, I just remembered the other team that I hate. And I can't believe I forgot because we were at the game. I hate the Bengals. I hate them. Joe Burrow is my personal enemy. I'm sure he's a great guy. He seems really nice. He did great things for LSU. I hate him. I can't stand that man. His slim, shady haircut. No. Jamar Chase. I don't mess with Jamar Chase. I do not like him at all. My grandparents are going to watch this, so I have to keep my language clean. Anyway.
Definitely winter.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
I agree.
All the way.
When we were in the hospital this morning while Dayton was getting his surgery, there was an Atkins commercial on, and they were all like, I just have a major sweet tooth. And I'm like, I will eat a good cookie, but me and my brother at his fiance's birthday party a month ago, we were eating a piece of cake. We split one piece of cake between the two of us. We couldn't even finish it. What is wrong with
I don't
us?
eat cake.
Yeah, no.
Cupcakes, no.
Yeah.
Like, the sweets I like are, like, popsicles or Culver's
Gushers. Oh, yeah. Culver's custard. Culver's custard smacks.
Or root beer float.
Yes, I do love that stuff. Oh, you gotta. But, like, if you give me the option, even for a snack, if you're like, would you rather have a chocolate bar or popcorn? I'd rather have popcorn every time. Like,
definitely.
Would you rather go out for desserts or go out for steaks? What kind of question is that? Let's go get steaks and mashed potatoes and crab legs and just run it up. Like, I'm not getting ice cream. We got ice cream at home. Like, I'm not cooking a steak. Well, it's just more effort than scooping out ice cream. But yeah, no, I agree on savory. This one's stupid, but whatever. Nachos or burgers as far as stadium food goes?
Burgers.
I think I would agree just because they're easier to, like, eat. My real answer is only applicable really to baseball season. It's hot dogs. Like,
you're gonna say a glizzy.
I know! Because, like, what's better than sitting in 100-degree weather watching some dudes crack some balls and bats and just eating a bunch of hot dogs. Like, I love a good hot dog.
But the burgers at the games that are like wrapped in the foil and that are in the warmer for so long, not so long, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That have been sitting there.
Yes.
Oh, they're so good.
Yeah, I agree. Like the golf club that we belong to now in Plattsmouth, they like only serve dinner in their clubhouse Monday through Thursday. And our night to golf is Friday. And so Friday nights we pull up, and when we get done with our like first 9, we go into the clubhouse and we each get a burger. And it's exactly that. It's just like a burger that's in foil that's been sitting in the warmer. So good. Mm-hmm. Like I love a good fresh burger, but there's something about one that's just been sitting a little bit. It's like so chili. True. Like you don't want chili that's fresh. You want chili that's been sitting in the fridge overnight. Like
or a runza.
Mm-hmm.
Game day runzas.
Yes. Did you see the guy who instead of the corn hat, he had the runza hat?
I didn't.
Yeah.
It's a runza hat, like a big one.
It's like like a runza, and it's got a bite out of the front. Yeah. Genius.
Where did he get this?
Honestly. And also, where did he get it? Because I don't think Runza sold it to him. And they're missing out on a huge marketing opportunity.
Absolutely, especially on game days.
Right, like ditch the corn, especially for the Iowa game. Like, we're wearing Runza hats 100% of the time.
Runza hat.
We got Runza socks in our room. And a Runza sweater. I don't know why.
Runza stuff.
I don't know. Dayton bought it. And then one day I came home and I was like, why do we have Runza like holiday merch? And he's like, wanted it, bought it. It's like, alright, Ariana Grande, like okay. But I would agree.
Wrapped in foil in the heater.
Yep. Wrapped in foil in the heater. So when we went on Christmas Eve with my family a couple years ago, it was the day that it was 9 degrees on Christmas Eve. It was so cold. Faith and I went to go get lunch, and like I got chicken strips, she got fries, we were going to split them, and we had a Sprite that we were going to split. We get our food. By the time we got back to our seats, we were like upper bowl, so like we had to climb like 20 flights of stairs. Sprite was frozen solid, fries were like dead cold, and the chicken strips were like hard to even tear apart because they had cooled down so bad. It was the worst money I've ever spent. And I was talking to Faith about it yesterday, and she's like, I still drank the Sprite. And I'm like, how? It was a block of ice. What are you talking about? And I think she said that she like bundled up with it to try and melt it a little bit. But no. That's, yeah. My ultimate pick is just a little tall boy lager and at Wrigley Field specifically, because they are the only stadium that I am aware of that has raw onions to put on your hot dogs. And that's, if it's not baked beans, it's raw onions. That's the only stuff I put on my hot dogs.
Baked beans on hot dogs is so good.
Oh, it's the best. My students used to clown on me for it, and then one of them was like, I went to a cookout this weekend and I tried your trick and it's really good. And I'm like, it's almost like I know my way around a barbecue hot dog.
All the kids think they know what they're talking about.
Right. How about you listen up and learn something for once? Put beans on your hot dog.
Get ketchup out of here.
Right. Yeah, don't even take that stuff to Chicago. They'll kill you for putting ketchup on a hot dog there. Okay, we did it.
We did do it.
How are you feeling?
Oh, good. I was a little nervous.
I know, me too. The worst part's gonna be when I look back at it
and
have to watch this whole thing all over.
Don't ask me to watch this.
Oh my god.
Yeah, be like, I sound like that?
Yeah, no, Dayton's never allowed to watch this, at least not with me in the room. Never allowed. That'll be so embarrassing.
I'm over here, like, doing stuff with my hands.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, and the
Bengals! You know, team, I really don't like the Bengals.
Joe Burrow. But yeah, thanks for tuning in to our first ever episode. What was I thinking of? Our maiden episode, like a maiden voyage. We're gonna do our best to be back recording on Wednesday nights. Yep. Sometimes they might be via Zoom, and that's okay too. I'm also gonna do my best to start getting like some YouTube videos together to like explain some stuff that you may or may not know that's going on in football, like what certain penalties and fouls are, like how the game structure works, like teams to watch, the breakup of like AFC, NFC, and then all of like the subdivisions within. So you've got all that to look forward to, and I guess we have that work to look forward to too, but it's going to be fun because we finally just have another night of the week where we get to hang out and at least talk to each other, because it's been way too long.
Yeah, it really has.
It has.
This forces us.
Yeah, and we've got 50 minutes. We killed it.
Nice.
Alright, we're going to go get the dogs and the girls and the people who just got out of surgery and let everybody else go too. Bye!